So in this video, I will be racing the Arc of Attrition 12, which is the latest addition to the Arc of Attrition UTMB series, and that joins the existing Arc of Attrition 100 miler, the 50 miler, and the 25 miler. It's based down in Cornwall and it follows the southwest coastal path. It's currently just gone 8 o'clock here, so come with us for the long drive south to Cornwall. That's us on the road. Plan today is we're driving down to Oxford to stay at my grand's tonight. So it's about 6 hours down to hers, and we will go see her, go out for dinner tonight, and then in the morning we will continue our travels down to St Agnes, which is about 4 hours from there. So about 10 hours driving in total. This is actually my first race back since I raced a 50k in Madeira, which was at the start of November, so a few months ago now. Madeira was actually my first ultra, and I was pretty happy with how it went. I ended up finishing second male and third overall, which I was very happy with. Madeira was big, long climbs, very steep ascents, very steep descent, and also very hot. So hopefully the Arc of Attrition, it's going to be weather that I'm more used to living in Scotland, especially with it being in January. Very wet, very windy, probably quite cold. And the climbing as well, it's going to be, because it's coastal, it'll be short, sharp climbs, technical terrain, all stuff that I'm a bit more familiar with in comparison to Madeira. So I only entered the Arc 12 at the end of November, so I've had about 2 months to train. And as you all know, it's hard to stay motivated during the winter months, so entering the Arc was just what I needed. And training's been going well. Stick to a simple weekly structure. One long run to build endurance. Because this race is only 25k, my long runs have been anything over 20k and around 1,000 meters of elevation. However, with longer races, I would increase the long run accordingly. A threshold session, which allows me to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Intervals for speed and strength, not necessarily essential for certain ultra trail races, but for something like the Arc 12, the dynamic power will be essential in the short, steep ascent and descent along the coast. And an easy run to build the base and allow the body to recover. As well as this, I have 2 focus days built specifically around the Arc of Attrition. Steep uphills, understanding the mix of running and power hiking and learning when to push and when to be efficient and conserve energy. The important factor with something like hill reps is the focus on the increase and decrease of the heart rate and getting your body used to pushing and recovering during a race. Deep downhills, which are as equally important as the uphills, training my legs to stay controlled when they're tired, which in the later stages can make or break a race like this. I've also utilised sets of steps, the short efforts that build strength and resilience for long inclines, and the fast feet that train the legs at a higher cadence. Technical up and downs, adapting to the uneven ground and constantly adjusting to be as efficient as possible over technical terrain. Tough underfoot and weather conditions. Cornwall in January doesn't scream good weather, but I'm staying hopeful. If the weather is what I'm expecting, then the exposed coastal route is going to be windy, wet and cold. But I have been training in Scotland during winter, so I've had plenty practice with the bad weather conditions. The short winter days mean training in the dark, early mornings, late nights, just another reality of the commitment needed for training. Long days in bad conditions don't just train the body, they train the mind, which in ultra running is equally as important. Now it's about trusting the work and taking it with me to the start line. So the Arc of Attrition 12, it's in the 20k UTMB category. but it's actually just under 25k. And it's got a total elevation of 980 meters, just under 1,000 meters. And looking at the route, the elevation profile, it's just lots of short, sharp climbs. But without sort of doing a course recce, without sort of being able to see it, I've seen videos, but without being actually to see the terrain and see what it's like underfoot, it's quite hard to know my pacing for the race. I'm hoping I'm going to be about 2 hours somewhere, but it's hard to know until we see what it's like on the day. Same with the weather. The weather right now, the forecast is looking like it's going to be wet on Saturday, but for the Sunday morning, which is when the race is, 7 o'clock on Sunday morning, looking like it's going to be light rain, so it might still be quite wet underfoot. Conditions might be tough, but we'll have to see on the day. It's just after 3 o'clock. We've been on the go for just under 7 hours, and we're about 3 minutes away from my grandma's, so I hope she's got the kettle on and we'll get in and see her and have a wee cup of tea. Morning guys, we arrived last night and went in, had a cup of tea with Grandma. Hadn't seen her for a while, so lovely to have a wee catch up, and then we went down to her local pub and had some dinner. A combination of hunger and social anxiety meant I didn't film anything inside the pub. So we're now just going for a wee shakeout run, get the legs moving before another 4.5 hours in the car today. So let's go. Day 2 of the travels. We are still on our way to Cornwall. We left Grandma's about 2 hours ago now, so we've got another 2.5 hours to go until we get to St Agnes. And check-in is at 3 o'clock, so we'll get there an hour after that, so pretty good timing. I booked my slot to pick up my bib, so that is between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock tonight down at the event village, which isn't far from where we're staying. I think it's a couple miles. So we'll go down, check that out, see what's happening down there. There'll still be finishes from both the 100 mile and the 100k. And at 8 o'clock, they've got the prize given for both of them. So we'll hang about for that. So the race starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow. It's quite an early start. And I got my bib number sent to me, the email sent to me last week, just saying that I was in wave 1, so that starts at 7 o'clock. And I think that's just based off my UTMB index, which I got from a couple races, like the Ben Nevis Skyline and Ultra X Madeira. And then the Arc 25, that starts later on in the day, and they're expecting the first finishers into the finish line at 12:30. So we'll go down and watch that. Robbie Simpson, who runs for Adidas Terex, he's local to us, just stays a few miles up the road, so we'll go along and support him, and hopefully he can get the win tomorrow. And then I think 3 o'clock is the prize given for the 50k and the 20k. So we might nip away, but we'll head back and watch all that tomorrow. The weather's taking a slight turn as well. The rain is well and truly on now. My uncle is actually down in Cornwall, I think, staying about half an hour from where we're going to be staying. And I spoke to him earlier today, and he said that it was raining. That's us, finally arrived at the Airbnb. We're just gonna unpack our bags and then we will get some dinner on the go. Gonna have an early dinner tonight and then head down to the event village and pick up the bib and get the kit checked. Airbnb is beautiful, the location is stunning, we're up on top of the hill, beautiful views along the coast. So come along for a tour and we'll show you the cottage. Hi guys, we're down at the event village, just about to head in, get my kit checked. It's pretty mental out there, the parking is crazy, there's just mud everywhere, obviously with the rain and the amount of people that are here this weekend. 3,000 people in total running in all the events, so it's very busy. Got another message saying that we didn't need the down jacket and the long-legged running trousers or anything, so well, it's been a bit better, but the consensus is that it's equally as muddy out on the trail as it is here, so we've got that to look forward to. We are just back from the event village. It was pretty mental. The mud was absolutely crazy. Cars everywhere, stuck in mud. Even just trying to get from the car to the tent was mental. Shoes are covered in mud. Anyway, it's looking like it's going to be the same out on the trail tomorrow. Everyone's saying it. It's like nothing they've seen before. But anyway, we went and got the kit checked, all good there. All we pretty much needed, we have waterproof jacket, waterproof over trousers, warm layer, base layer, waterproof gloves, bivvy, emergency shelter, whistle, hat, head torch, buff if I need it. So yeah, it was pretty simple. The kit check was pretty quick. So yeah, got the bib. Wave 1, 7 o'clock start tomorrow.
And then we hung about and we watched the prize given for the Arc 50 and the Arc 100. We ended up chatting to a lady, Mercedes. She finished 5th in the Arc 50, and we found out she was sponsored by Precision Hydration, which is the stuff that I use. So she ended up giving me all of our unused gels. So shout out Mercedes, and let's hope it makes a difference tomorrow.
Good morning, guys. The day is finally here. It's just gone 5:15. Just had some breakfast, some overnight oats, just about to get changed, and then we will make our way down to the start line.
Forward, spin cut. Alright. Yeah. Give it everything you've got today. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I started about 3 or 4 rows back from the front. It was a fast start, quite a narrow tunnel to begin with, so tried to make my way around a few people, get into a better position. And then around 50 metres after the start, there was a lovely surprise. I don't think you can even call it a puddle, but that made sure our feet were soaking wet right from the start. It was a 4:06 first kilometre, so fast considering there was a good bit of elevation from the beginning. I ended up finding myself running on my own for the next couple of kilometres, and then a guy had dropped back slightly from the group in front, and I ran with him for pretty much the rest of the race. It was absolutely beautiful out on the course, and the camera really doesn't do it justice. It also doesn't do the hills justice. Very steep, up and down, and very technical in places. Conditions underfoot were extremely wet and muddy, but that did improve as the race went on. Coming down into Portreath, I was feeling good. This was where the only aid station was located, but I had everything I needed, so didn't need to stop. Big hill back out of Portreath and back onto the trail. Second half of the race had twice as much elevation as the first, so the legs were really starting to feel it at this point. The sun made an appearance and the views and the day got even more unbelievable. Crossing the line in 9th place, I was absolutely over the moon with how the race had went, and a day on the trails that I won't forget for a very long time. Guys, we did it, and what a race it was. So good, loved every minute of it. Obviously I was aiming for around 2 hours. Wasn't sure how accurate that goal was going to be. Didn't know what the terrain was going to be like, didn't know what the conditions were going to be like, but I ended up finishing it
in 2 hours, 1 minute and 57 seconds. So pretty bang on what I was expecting. So I'm very, very pleased with that. And that put me in 9th position, crossing the line. That's now been updated on the UTMB website. So the chip time has got me at 13th place. Guessing that's just runners that have started in a later wave have now ran a faster time than I ran. But on the day, across the line, 9th place, I'm taking that top 10. 9th or 13th, I'm still buzzing with my time, buzzing with the effort. And for my first UTMB event as well, like, I couldn't have asked for much more than that, especially something like the 20k, which is just so fast, so flat out from the start. Yeah, I'm buzzing. And couldn't have asked for a better day for it as well. This morning it wasn't even that cold. We went to the start line before 6:30, waiting about. Very light wind, perfect running conditions, but the mud was as bad as people had warned. It was really tough going, slipping and sliding all over the place, just trying to get traction when running. It was tough, but all part of the fun. The only thing was trying to get out of the car park at the event village. It was an absolute nightmare. The mud was even worse than last night when we went for the bib pickup, and we drove about 50 metres in my car along this field, and then we got stuck. So I had to get rescued by the event organiser, who was cutting about in a Land Rover Defender, so very grateful to her for that. Car is absolutely caked in mud now. But right now we're going to jump in the car, and instead of going back to the event village and getting stuck in mud again, we're going to go down to Porthtowan, which is just a few miles from here. And that's about 3 miles, I think, from the finish. So we're going to watch the Arc 25 runners come through there and hopefully catch Robbie Simpson leading the pack. So I've been home now, had a shower, feeling a lot more fresh, cleaned all the mud off me, and now we've come down to Porthtowan to watch the Arc 25 runners come through. So we're expecting them in the next 15 minutes. That's day 3 finished. Race done and dusted. Went better than I could ever expect. And then tomorrow we've got the long drive back home to Scotland. Just went down for dinner in the local village. It was very nice. And then we're back at the Airbnb, just gonna have a few drinks and then have an early night. So we'll catch you once we get home. And just like that, we're back home. It's been a non-stop weekend, but honestly had such a great time. Again, so pleased with my result and how the weekend went. The Arc 12 was a great taster of what the Arc of Attrition event is all about, and it's definitely an event I'd love to come back to. So hopefully next year, if all's good, I would like to compete in the Arc 50 miler. It was also a great race for my first UTMB event as well, and that's really given me the motivation to train even harder and really focus on what I've got planned for this year. So I actually have 3 more UTMB events entered this year. So in May I have the Ultra Trail Snowdonia 50k, which is 3,500 meters of elevation. Then in July, I have the Restonica Trail, which is in Corsica. That's 67 kilometers, and that's just under 4,000 meters of elevation. And then in September, I have the Julian Alps trail race, and that is 50k with just over 2,500 meters of elevation. So obviously with these types of events, with a big increase in distance and elevation gain, that will be my primary focus for these races. As much elevation as possible and as much distance as possible. As well as that, I need to look at my fueling and my nutrition plan. Obviously for the Arc 12, it wasn't long enough that I needed to train for that. Obviously I had a fueling plan with the gels, but for these longer types of races, I will need to incorporate that into my training just to get my body and my stomach used to taking that much food on a race of that sort of length. Also for the races in Corsica and Slovenia, these are during the summer months, so heat is going to have a big impact on the race and on the success of the race. So that's something I need to look at in my training, and I will incorporate heat training into that. Also for these races that I've got planned, I am interested in using poles. I don't have poles, I've never used poles, but I see a lot of people that do, and to be honest, for a race like that, it just makes sense to have poles. So again, I'm going to be putting that into my training and really just getting used to the poles just so they have the most benefit they can come race day. However, coming up before any of those UTMB events, I have Inverness half marathon at the beginning of March. And my goal for that is to run sub 1 hour 20. And then I have Manchester Marathon in April. And my goal for that is to run sub 2 hours 50. So right now my training is mainly focused on speed work and a lot of road running. But I've got an exciting year ahead. I've got lots planned and I'm excited to bring you guys along for the journey. So stay tuned on the channel and keep an eye out to see if I can smash my goals for all my races this year. Just want to say a massive thank you for watching the video and I hope you guys enjoyed it.